Hey guys, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Wheelhouse, a pricing dynamic software for your Airbnb listing. I currently use it. I'm going to dive into my settings in this video and show you how you can make about 30 to 40% more revenue. If that sounds nice to you, then watch this video. All right, you guys, let's jump into Wheelhouse. So those of you that have joined my webinar, Intro Level to Airbnb Hosting, I get questions all the time about pricing. Do I use Airbnb pricing? How do I do my pricing? Blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to make a quick video on my pricing software, which I use Wheelhouse. We're gonna dive into some of the settings that I like. And this is a very open and honest review. Everything that I like about it, I'm still learning this like crazy. Also, stick around until the very end. Yes, I am an affiliate. And yes, I do make money if you do join, but I still really back this program. And I wish I would have used pricing from day one. So let's jump into it. So as you can see, this is the hosting dashboard. If I click here, this is where you will see all my listings. You can see all the current listings. This one is currently off because I don't really do the pricing, but you can see all these are turned on. You can see my rev score. Basically what a rev score is, from my understanding, it's kind of competing my property to all the other neighbors, Airbnbs and VRBOs, and seeing how I'm doing. I don't really know what the score means. Like, this one's pretty low, so I just barely launched that. But let's jump into this property. So this is one of my newer properties that I launched in Scottsdale. Now keep in mind, we are in slow season right now, so the calendar is pretty empty, and this is where a pricing software really comes in handy. Also in Arizona and a lot of other states, there's all kinds of events that go on from time to time to time. So I feel like it's really important to have a strong pricing software that can keep track of all the events that are coming up, holidays, supply and demand, and all those kind of things, because that's where you'll make a lot of extra money. So let's dive into it. So this is my calendar. You go to this is what the calendar looks like. In quick, all the green is current bookings. So these are already booked. I can't change the pricing, of course, but let's just say, I have this whole week off, I'm not getting any bookings. So I can click on it and do a custom and figure out what's going on here. Move that over there. I can go over here to the left and it will show me what Wheelhouse is suggesting. So suggesting 238, the recommended base price is at 400, but we're in the season. Like I said, we're in slow season, so it's saying I should knock off at least $200, $209. Local impact, listing, it just gives you all these details so you can better judge how you want to price. But right now I have these dates open, so let's go ahead. I can go ahead and put, minus 14%. Let's do 13% actually, 235. Then you hit save, and then you always hit save right here, and that will automatically sync your calendar. So sync your calendar on Wheelhouse all the way to your Airbnb profile. Also, you'll see a little video right here. I'm not gonna click on it, but if you click on this video, Wheelhouse has so many amazing tutorials and videos on the page you're on. So if you're on this calendar page and you're lost and confused, you just click on this little video right here and it will pop up all kinds of videos on how you can learn more about the pricing software. So let's go ahead and jump into the insights. And I'm gonna go over all these settings really quickly. If you want me to do a deeper dive with Wheelhouse, or maybe even try to find somebody from Wheelhouse that would jump on the call with us, let me know. But this is a quick overview. You can see how the last 12 months have been doing on this property. You can see I got a huge spike over the really high season on the pricing. Gives you all kinds of information on here. I won't go too much into, this kind of information, all the graphs. It's useful, but it can get complicated. Most importantly, let's jump into the settings. So when you're setting up your price, you guys, it's very important to come up with a base price. So the base price, one thing I love about Wheelhouse is they give you 3 different options. You can do, more conservative, which is saying 373 for this property. You can do what I'm doing at current, which is recommended. I would recommend doing recommended, but which is 414. And then you can do more aggressive, which is a little bit higher, or you can do your own custom. But let's say we do recommended, which I am on. Another great part is you can go in here and dive into why it's recommended that price. So it's saying the baseline is at 162, but since I have 4 bedrooms, add 70 bucks. Since I have 3 bathrooms, it's adding 11 bucks. Since it's a house, $5. So this is just so cool on how I can compete in the market. I provide 8 guests, so add another $122 to that. That I'm in South Scottsdale, so it's all about the location. It tells you what the location is, $20. Seems a little low because it's a great location, but hey. But then I have a bunch of amenities. You can see that it's evaluating 46 of the amenities. It even talks about the cleaning, the security deposit, and all the photos, etc. So $62 for that. Right now, I'm in slow season, so that's why my price is going lower. You can see it says adjusting into the market. So the entire market is low right now. And then past bookings. Great, so I'm on recommendation. I keep that. Now let's jump into last minute. I like to be aggressive on last minute. I don't really want to give discounts. I feel like if you drop your price too low, just like a few days out, then you kind of get troubled guests or a little bit more riffraff guests or whatnot. So I'm a little bit more aggressive. I don't like to drop my price until pretty last minute. I keep this. This is called far out future dates. So you can be more conservative. You can see the price changes there. Honestly, I keep it at recommended. Okay, day of the week. Also, I keep this in the middle. During my high season day of the week, you guys, I will go to more aggressive. But now that I'm in summer, let me click on that and let's see. So in summertime, I'm only gonna go 8%. I might go ahead and try that, to be honest. So since I went ahead and went over, it will tell me right here, 14% on the market factor, and then minus 5%, which is adjusting from the recommended. So let me go ahead and try that, and I'm gonna hit save. So every time you make settings in here, you're gonna wanna go in this nice little blue button over here and say save. You can see it will automatically sync to my Airbnb calendar. Now this tab I probably use this tab the most. In Arizona or Scottsdale in general, we have like a million different events and all kinds of things that are going on. So I like to, adjust it, knowing, I've been in this market for over 2 years now, so I kind of know what my high seasons are. But let's say I click on May. I'm not getting enough bookings in May. I can click on May, and then you see this little tab down here, and you can raise the price, or you can bring the price down, so hopefully you get more bookings, and you can just do it on a sliding scale. You can obviously go to more aggressive, recommended, but honestly, I stay on custom most of the time, and again, make sure you hit save. Using a pricing software, you really don't need to do custom. In my area, I just chose to do custom because we just have so many things bouncing around all over the place. But sometimes on my listing, I just stick with the general settings of Wheelhouse, because at the end of the day, this is what I'm paying the software for, and they're the experts. Now, minimum price is obviously super important. I want to set a minimum price. I never want to go lower than this base price. Wheelhouse will put that in mind and be like, okay, this homeowner doesn't want to go any lower than you can see right here, $235. So we're not going to go any lower than $235. If I don't get a booking, I just don't get a booking. For me, it just helps with riffraff. But let's go ahead and just adjust it just to show you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put it to 230, and then always, again, hit save and sync the calendar. Now you can do a bunch more custom settings here. You can do minimum price within, certain days. We won't do that. You can do date specific pricing. So let's do date specific pricing, right? Super Bowl is coming up. So let's go ahead and click on. This is really cool. I love this feature. I know Super Bowl's coming up in February, so let me go ahead and put February 2020 and through the date. So minimum price for now, I'm gonna do $1,500. And then that way I know that I don't want my price to go any lower than that during that peak season. Then you can do maximum price. I never put anything in the maximum price, you guys. It's kind of pointless, especially in towns like this. Minimum stays I do, as you can see here. I do have gap nights on. So what gap nights are, let's say I have a booking Monday and Tuesday, and I don't have any bookings on Wednesday, but then I get a booking Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's a gap night. Wednesday is open. I'll let somebody come in there and book for that one night. Now I do have a bunch of other custom settings which I love down here, which is called time-based. And right here you can see after 25 days, it's a 3-day minimum. Love this feature. After 45 days, I do a 4-night minimum. After 65 days, it's a 7-night minimum. That way it really starts to fill up my calendar. If people are planning that far out, they're probably looking for longer stays anyways. And I really want to attract those longer bookings. Then after 90 days, I do 10 days out. Also, you can see, you can choose dates down here where I did February. I want to do a minimum of 7 nights. Cool. Now, long-term discounts. Long-term discounts are awesome. I love, especially my slow seasons, I love getting week stay, a 2-week stay, even month stays. This is where you really want to come in here and adjust your weekly stays. Just do the math and come up with whatever's comfortable. I like to do a minimum of 10% for my week and monthly anywhere from 20 to 25%. Then when I get my really slow season, maybe I want to bump this up. I'm gonna go ahead and change it to 27 right now. See if I can get some month-long stays. Let's go ahead and jump into performance. This will show you exactly my listing. So my adjusted occupancy, as you can tell, we're going into the slow season, which is obviously makes your hair wanna rip out. But you can see January, February, you know, pretty booked up solid. This is a brand new property as well. And then right now, we're just not getting bookings far out anyways, so keep that in mind. You can see some of my revenue, the length of stays. This is another important one. My length of stays are 5.1 days. I don't know what 0.1 is. A stay and a half a day or something. But you can see right here is I can really keep track. In January, it was 7 days, you know, 5 days. So I'm really trying to attract 4, 5, 7 days, night stays. So this will teach me a lot from that. And then my average daily rate is going for $431. So you can see some of those months are a lot higher. And then as we go in the slower season, it will start to go down. And then my lead time, you guys, this is super important. My lead time right now actually is 23 days, almost 24 days basically. So I would like to set in my pricing back here. So knowing that this is 24 days, this is where I would go back into my pricing and do, see right here, I have 25 days. So after 25 days, I really want to attract at least 3-night stays. So I might even want to change that to 4, because right here you can say that I'm attracting 5 nights anyways. So maybe I want to change that to 5. So about 23 days out, you know, I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that, but it's up to you. Like in June, I got a booking 50 days out. So some people are planning, but for the most part, it's a lot last minute. Okay, let's jump into the section called comps. This is awesome. Honestly, I'm still learning a lot about the comps and how I can compete with all my neighbors, all the other listings around me, etc. This gives you a ton of information. The overview, the top right here is my property, and then the bottom is the competitor's property. You can see all the numbers are down right now because we are in slow season, but let me see what happens if I change the date. Oh yeah, so let's say in March. So you can see the pricing difference in March. This was a brand new listing we just launched in March, so you can see why my pricing would be a little bit lower. The average was going for $700. We had a 35-day lead time. Wow, they have 78 days. That's impressive. So you can really see that, and I can go in there and dive in and find out why these people are booking the way they are. I mean, there's so many comps in here, and then I can look up the calendar. Now, what the calendar does is pulling up all the other competitors in my area, and I can see, you know, what the percentage is. I won't jump into this too much because like I said, this can get kind of complicated, but you can really just start diving around at your other listings. You can click on it, takes it right to that Airbnb listing, and then you can look to figure out what they're charging, how they're charging, etc. Super, super awesome. Easy way to find your competitors. Here's all the matrix. You get tons of graphs. I mean, it's just crazy. But what's really cool is all the events. So like I said, I'm in Scottsdale and it'll tell me all the events that are coming up. Super Bowl is coming up. Obviously that's a huge one. That's February 12th. And lead time, wow. They're saying lead time is 278 days. So people are already starting to book the Super Bowl. Okay, good to know. And it looks like asking is $1,668 a night. That's awesome. And 63 nights have already been booked or bookable. That's awesome. So I would probably go in here and change my pricing. So that pretty much wraps it up. Just thought I would go quick. Like I said, then you can always go onto the calendar. And the calendar, you can go in here, and if you're like, oh, I'm not getting bookings this far out, then you can click on your pricing. Let's find one right here. Let's click on this pricing right here and lower the price, 8%, just to get a little bit of boost in the system. Don't forget to sync it. Now, I just really wanted to do a quick overview on pricing and pricing software and Wheelhouse. I'm not an expert, I am still learning this, but I would definitely say that I probably make 30 or 40% more revenue by using a pricing software like this. This is why I would highly recommend you guys use something like this. Also, it would help me out. I'm a small channel or influencer or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, Airbnb host. But down below in the link, you can join with my affiliate link. And yes, I do get a little bit of a kickback from that, so I do appreciate it. Every little bit helps. But honestly, I don't have enough amazing things to say about Wheelhouse. Everything about it, I really, really like. It's super user-friendly. People ask me all the time too, is Wheelhouse for me? I only have one property. I would say yes. Even if you only have one property, I would still use a pricing software, because if you have any events going on in your place, in your city, a bunch of events going on, it's just gonna be hard to keep track. So Wheelhouse might be something that you wanna keep track for. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know if you guys started using Wheelhouse or if you use another pricing software that you may like. If you have any tips or tricks on Wheelhouse, I'd love to see it. I teach a webinar every week, so tune into the webinar. Thank you guys.